Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to the next character in this long-running series of various newcomer ideas for the upcoming Smash Bros. Game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. As I mentioned in the last video, when I talked about Cross from Xenoblade Chronicles X as character number 102, character number 103 is going to be a character that a lot of people have been asking for in Smash Bros. For quite some time, and really I believe since the days of Melee. And they're in the rumors for Smash Bros. Ultimate, whether positive or negative, playable or boss or whatever. And people have been wanting this character forever, myself included to some extent. It's time for me to finally talk about them, and that's going to be Skull Kid. More so importantly from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, which is basically the Skull Kid everyone seems to talk about is wanting to see in Smash Bros. Even though there's multiple different Skull Kids throughout the Zelda franchise. But Majora's my Skull Kid, and I'm just going to call it Majora Skull Kid this video, and that's probably how I'm going to name the video because that's the specific Skull Kid. There's Skull Kid. There's Majora's Mask. Majora is its own entity, technically kind of controlling him. So it's two characters in one, essentially. So, yeah, there you go. Majora Skull Kid is my character number 103. I finally get to talking about them, and I've been wanting to talk about them for a while, so here is the chance I finally could do. And before this intro gets on too long, let's just get this video started and talk about reasons for why I feel the character makes sense, moveset ideas, and percentage chance I could actually see them getting into Smash Brothers. Now, why Skull Kid? Why is Skull Kid deserving to be the next Zelda rep? Why should it be Skull Kid over Impa? Why should it be Skull Kid over one of the champions from Breath of the Wild? Why should it be Skull Kid over, say, Linko or blah, 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 villain, blah, blah, Ganon, blah, blah, whoever the heck else? Well, Skull Kid is and has become one of the most iconic Zelda characters of all time. This version of Skull Kid has only been in one game, that was back in 2000 on the N64, Majora's Mask, and it's basically become like a cult character in the series. We have not seen the Majora's Mask return since then. We have not seen really Skull Kid. Well, we have seen Skull Kid in Twilight Princess, but I'm talking about this version of Skull Kid, like a Skull Kid that's been this popular in the series since that time. That was 18 years ago. So it's one of the most iconic characters not to be, from Zelda, that's not in the game yet. It's not a recurring character in the Zelda franchise, but for its one-time appearance, it's super iconic and super beloved and has shown up in numerous spin-offs. Like, it's not like they've forgotten about Skull Kid, Majora Skull Kid, Majora's Mask, Majora, whatever. They included this character in Hyrule Warriors. They've mentioned this character before. They've done numerous things before. They made this character an assist trophy in Smash Bros. 4. Which we haven't seen the assist trophy yet, so there's a legit reason right there. We have not seen the assist trophy yet because we've seen that the assist trophy is now the moon. And the moon's not connected to Majora, so that means Majora possibly could stand a chance to get into the game. And many people have wanted him since Melee. Like, around that time was when Majora's Mask was relevant. It was the biggest, newest Zelda game, and all we got was a young Link that was essentially just normal Link, and it would represent technically Ocarina of Time as well. It was Ocarina of Time in Majora's Mask. So it wasn't like specifically just Majora's Mask besides the Great Base Stage. And we never seen him even remotely get into the game. So, and everyone's been wanting him in Smash Bros. Since Melee, so that popularity could very well be dictating him getting into the game. Who knows? And it's not even just that Majora's Mask was only ever on the N64. They had that in the collection, the Zelda collection on the GameCube, and it was remade for the 3DS, so the game is still fairly relevant and being remade a few years ago on the 3DS. So yeah, one of the most iconic Zelda characters that's not reoccurring, so it's, outside of Impa being a reoccurring iconic Zelda character, this is the most popular non-reoccurring one. Many people have wanted him since Melee. Majora's Mask was remade for the 3DS, so it's still fairly relevant. Assist trophy hasn't been seen yet, and he's been included in spin-offs and stuff like Hyrule Warriors. So yeah, Majora Skull Kid. Moveset ideas. This character, I was mostly for this moveset going off of, because, I went through a couple of the cutscenes of the Majora's Mask game and kind of based a few things off of that, and the game itself, but I mostly was going off of his moveset from Hyrule Warriors, trying to base it up like how he would have a standard moveset. And basically, just like I mentioned with Dr. Coyle, he is a teleporting character. It's like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. The character can teleport across the stage, so he can do moves that make you move, and it's a dodging type situation. He mostly floats, sometimes walks on his feet, but he's mostly going to be a floating around character. So super agile, super flying all over the place, speedy, agile character, and he's super combo heavy and can really catch you in a combo. So yeah, that's basically his basically where his moveset would kind of like his stats and stuff. And him being able to teleport will be what saves him. You know how like the up B, like you get back up to the stage, you'll be able to up B, I'm back on the stage, that kind of thing. So that's how a teleporting will help you be able to not fall off the stage. The smash attacks, I'm basically going to include Tattle and Tail, his two fairies, one of which accompanies Link in the game, but they're both technically his fairies. And in Hyrule Warriors, he fights with them, so I think it'll be a cool way to bring them into the game and represent them as well. And since that's mostly how he attacks, he doesn't really attack too much himself. He like spins around, does twirls and spins and sends them flying to smack opponents and attack him. So his smash attacks are mostly him spinning around, doing like crazy moves all over the place, sending them out to attack the opponents, not himself specifically. And he also could use the ocarina, which is what he uses to summon them. He plays the ocarina and sends them out. So basically he could use the ocarina and summons them and be like, go! And he spins around and sends them flying and whoosh, 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 woo! And there you go. He can do, he could rush forward, so he can basically just like whoosh! And so basically if there's an opponent there, whoosh, and you hit them. He can spin, fairy, fly around, cut out wind, attack, which like I said, he spins around. So he spins around and the fairies go out like in a wind motion around him and attack opponents. So you can basically attack opponents from your left and your right and likely above you as well. And he can ground strike, so he can basically hit the ground kind of thing. So if you're on the ground, he can attack you on the ground. There you go. So that's basically where his smash attacks would lie. Being able to use the ocarina to send Tattle and Tail, his fairies, to fly around and attack you. He spins around the whirlwind attack, which sends the fairies like whoosh. And if you're like doing it, like this is you and there's the opponents, whoosh, and boom, they get hit. He can rush forward, so he rushes right through his opponents. And spin rush, he can also do the rush, but do it as a spin motion. So there's that. That's his smash attacks. His special attacks, he can shoot laser beams out of his eyes. So that's his ranged attack. Woo! And you're like, no! You get hit by it. He can throw like dark orb type things that explode. So a lot of his special attacks are ranged. He can summon tornadoes to send back opponents. This won't really damage opponents. It's more so for just giving yourself distance from your opponent. So you're like, you send a little whirlwind forward, a little tornado whirlwind thing forward. It hits your opponent, it just sends them flying back. It might give him a couple of things of damage, but it's mostly used to create distance from your opponent, so you can use the terrain to further strategize how to attack your opponent. But basically his special attacks are basically shooting laser beams out of his eyes and throwing dark orbs that could explode, and then doing the tornado thing that knocks back opponents. So basically all his special attacks are mostly ranged attacks. And he also can charge his dark orbs, which makes them larger and more damage, more explosive range or something too. And you could charge probably the laser beam eyes too. So charge the laser beam eyes, charge the dark orbs, tornadoes that summon knock opponents back. Final smash. Now this is where I mostly based it off the actual game. I wanted to include something that was mostly a Majora thing, because the moveset is mostly Skull Kid with the fairies. That's mostly what it is, besides obviously like some of the dark orb things, and obviously the laser eyes come from the mask, not from Skull Kid being like Superman. It comes from the mask. So, but the final smash is mostly going to be a Majora thing, not a Skull Kid thing. And I'm doing Majora's Wrath, the final boss battle from Majora's Mask. So basically what's going to happen is the mask, you get the thing, the mask flies off his head, and you know how in the game like it's controlling him, so he falls to the ground like a lifeless puppet, like ooh, and like his body is going to be on the stage while the mask flies up and just morphs into the with his weird whipping arm Majora's Wrath thing, and he just goes forward to the opponents. He goes to the right, he's like, and then he grabs the opponents, pulls them forward, and just throws them off the stage. So he's going to whip the opponents about 4 or 5 times, any opponents that's within the range. and then he grabs him and just chucks him off the stage if you high enough damage. Obviously, you're going to get sent flying to a KO, and then the mask turns back into the mask, flies back down, goes on his face, and Majora's like, and ready to fight again. There you go. So that's it for the final smash. Percentage chance I can see him actually getting in the game. Rumors are dictating that Majora Skull Kid is very likely for the game, but it also kind of, like, the rumors also state that he might be a boss as well. I'm not going off the leaks, I'm not going off the rumors, I'm going off percentage chance of him getting in, especially because they're looking at the Smash ballot to an extent too. And he is still fairly relevant because of spin-offs like Hyrule Warriors and the remake of Majora's Mask on 3DS and whatnot. And popularity-wise, he is there because of the Smash ballot and people have been wanting him since Melee. I'm going to give him a 70% chance. Not the greatest, but not like he's super unlikely though. The next Zelda rep is basically, in my opinion, between him and Impa. And who they would choose first. Would they choose Skull Kid Majora or would they choose Impa? In my opinion, those are the next two top choices. And quite frankly, I'd probably rather have Impa, but I think Skull Kid would be probably more original. But Skull Kid also could make a better boss, probably too. And you could do the Skull Kid Majora like boss battle. Like Majora's Wrath could be a boss battle, like Rathalos and Dracula. So you can go either way on that. I say 70% though, because the rumors are looking good for the character, just not perfect, and he is still fairly relevant because of Hyrule Warriors DLC and Majora's Mask being remade. And the popularity is there, and it sure as hell he was voted for in the Smash ballot, and like people have been wanting him since Melee, so Sakurai probably has been hearing about that. So it can go any way really. As I say 70%, which may be too high, but you never know what's going to happen. So that's it for Majora Skull Kid, people. I finally did it. I finally did Majora Skull Kid. Woo! And that's it. Put in the comments guys things. Do you guys want to see Majora Skull Kid in Smash Bros? Have you been wanting this character since Melee? Is my moveset make sense? What moves would you do? Would you do a moveset more so based off the actual game than Hyrule Warriors? I'm just like, you don't really see Skull Kid. You see Skull Kid do a lot of stuff in Majora's Mask, but you see him more in action in Hyrule Warriors. That's why I based a lot of moveset off of that. Majora's Wrath, a good moveset. You know, reasons probably why she can make sense. Would you change the moveset up? Is 70% too high, too low? Put it down there. We can discuss it down there and have fun. And that's it for Majora. That's it for character 103 on this countdown to character 150. And when I come back next time, character 104 is going to be another retro rep. And I haven't done a retro character in a very, very long time, actually. It's very surprising I haven't done a retro character in probably some 20 to 40 some odd characters. But I'm going to be doing the retro character that was hinted at in Smash Bros. Before and has a trophy in Melee. And it's apparently Sakurai has wanted her before at some point, which is weird because I don't know how you would do a moveset really for her. I had to do research for her, but it would be kind of cool to see her just because like this Japanese exclusive Famicom game, and be interesting to see her as playable. And that's going to be Ayumi Tachibana from the Famicom Detective Club games. See you all later. Bye.